everybody. It's Miss Nikki from Sunday School, and I am here because I get to talk about this week's Sunday School lesson, which is called God's Prophets. But before we do that, I would like to play a game with you guys. And it's pretty similar to Simon Says, but I'm not going to say Simon Says. Instead, I'm going to do something, and then I want you to try to follow along and repeat it. So we'll start this way, and then what I do, I want you guys to follow and do. Ready? Did you follow? Did you clap your hands 2 times? All right, let's try another one. Did you guys follow? Clap your hands twice, pat your shoulders twice. Okay, ready? We're going to try one more. Here we go. How did you do? Were you guys able to follow me, or did you get lost and make some mistakes? It was probably a lot easier to follow me when I just clapped my hands, or I just clapped my hands and patted my shoulders, than it was to follow me when I did a bunch of different crazy things all at once. So today's lesson with God's prophets is that sometimes when we are trying to do too much, we make mistakes. And in today's Bible story, God's people, they made mistakes because they were too busy to hear what God was telling them. So today we have this guy, and this guy's name is Jeremiah. And he was a young man, and he was one of God's people. And one day God said to Jeremiah, I have decided that you will talk to my people for me. Do you guys remember what that job is called? When God asks somebody to talk to his people for him? It starts with a P. It's a prophet, right? So Jeremiah was a prophet. And God sent Jeremiah to the home of a potter. And guess what the potter was doing? He was making a pot out of some clay. But it wasn't really working very well. So guess what he did? He pounded the clay down again, and then he started all over. And Jeremiah, he watched this potter restart this pot over and over and over again. God told Jeremiah that his people were like the clay, and they needed to be remolded and reshaped, and then they would love and follow God. So, our friend Jeremiah, he started giving people God's messages. So here's Jeremiah right here. And he would go and he would ask people questions. So he would say, why have you turned against God? And guess what the people would do? They can't hear you. We're going to ignore you. And Jeremiah would ask them, why don't you love God and follow him? People would go, we don't hear you. We're not paying attention. And Jeremiah would ask, are you honest? If I can find one honest person here, then God will forgive everybody. But guess what? They didn't listen. They totally ignored him. What would have been a good thing to do? If Jeremiah would have said to them, do you know the Lord loves you very much? The people could have paid attention to Jeremiah and said, yeah, you're right. The Lord does love me very much. Or Jeremiah could have said to them, will you put your hope in God? I'm going to put my hope in God. And the people could have said, yeah, I am going to put my hope in God. But guess what happened? They didn't do that. Instead, they just didn't listen. They were too busy doing other things and believing other things that they did not listen to Jeremiah. So Jeremiah, he warned the people that they were going to have consequences. They were going to have some trouble for their sins, which was the mistakes of not listening. So, for example, like if you take something that isn't yours, maybe your brother or sister has a favorite toy and you know they really like it, but you do too. So you sneak in their room and you take it and you don't ask. Probably not a good idea, right? So that's kind of what the people were doing when they weren't listening to Jeremiah. But guess what? God still loved them. People make mistakes. Grown-ups make mistakes. Kids make mistakes. We make bad choices. We make wrong decisions. But God still loves us. And that's what God did with the people too. Even though they didn't want to listen to Jeremiah, God still loved them, even though they were making wrong decisions. So that's what today's lesson is about. We make mistakes, and we are still loved. I hope you are feeling loved today, and I miss seeing everybody's faces, and I hope you guys are healthy and well. Bye.